get it, man. DFU.
Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, welcome to Dirty Fanatics United. If it's your first time tuning in, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment because you are chatting with two of the most diehard Falcon fans there is in the world. Your guy, C-Money, and your guy, Cody Dirty Bird Keeler, is here to talk Falcon football. Falcon fans, hit that like button. This is episode 124, DFU Late Night Dirty Bird Chatter. RAHEEM, why no timeout, bro? Episode 124. Cody, what's going on, man? How we doing?
Man, doing good. I say it's been an odd week with all the days off, which has been really nice. But I tell you what, it has thrown my schedule off. But glad to be here talking Dirty Bird football, as always.
It is always a good time to talk Falcon football, whether that's a playoff push, whether that's a potential couch seat, whether that may be, Cody, we will not know until 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon if your Atlanta Falcons complete the task and beat the Carolina Panthers and have help from the New Orleans Saints. That is relying on a rookie, Cody. We'll start the podcast off with that. Spencer Rattler is your starting quarterback Sunday against Tampa Bay in Tampa. Cody, the chances to even get that dub was slight, but now they're even thinner. To see the Falcons give away a 6-3 lead at one point in this season. Cody, how are we feeling about this? Chat, get active, man. Don't just watch. Get active in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about these Atlanta Falcons. If you're watching this podcast, you are a Falcon fan that is just as frustrated as these two behind this screen. So let us know in the comment section so we can chat about it. We can vent about it because this is our medicine for Dirty Bird football. Cody, how are we feeling about the 6-3 slip? The 6-3 slip that you let slide right past you. You start the young rookie late in the season. You've seen that this young rookie was the talent that you selected at one. So far, let's not start. Let's not stack a bridge and then it collapse. But so far, Penix has looked very nice as a rookie quarterback in the pocket, making tough throws. Yes, some throws are overthrown, but this is a guy that's played 2 games with these starting receivers. Give this man time, and I think you may have a diamond here in Atlanta. Cody, how are we feeling, man? I keep asking you how are we feeling, but I continue to talk about the season because that's just how frustrated I am about these Dirty Birds that we were flying so high about. Cody, there was a podcast, the title was Atlanta Falcons Flying High. That's the first podcast I've ever been able to put a title like that. Cody, how are we feeling, man?
Yeah, to say disappointed just isn't the word, man. It's going to say, I've lived through a lot of rough seasons, but when you start out so promising that, you have a 3.5 game lead over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you let it just flat out slip out of your hands. Man, I think back to a lot of games, that Seattle game that just got out of control that you absolutely, should have won. The fact that you continue to march out, your kicker that was hurt and it cost you a game in New Orleans.
Yep.
Then, right after the Cowboy game, you could tell, Kirk was starting to kind of hit that decline, and then you continue to, run him out there. Really, you kept running him out there even after the Cowboy game, which wasn't too bad because you beat the Cowboys 27-21.
Yes.
And, it wasn't even, I was saying it wasn't even that close, but then that Broncos game, after the Saints loss, and you could really see Kirk starting to struggle. And then you run him out there against the Chargers and another game that you should have won. But you ran out your quarterback that was hurt and wasn't playing well, all for the sake of what, so you paid him, $180 million and you guaranteed $100 million of it. But you know what? I'd rather eat $100 million than have run out my quarterback that was hurt, injured, in his head, whatever the case may have been. Because at that point, you knew there was something going on. At that point, you could have started a Michael Penix. You probably win that Chargers game if you start Michael Penix, because Kirk was in the middle of, at that point he hadn't thrown any touchdowns. I don't think still.
And we went 3 to 4 weeks. It was a whole month of football of no touchdowns, no passing touchdowns, and only interceptions.
Yeah.
Cody, after 3 weeks of that, is it not time? Maybe even after 2 weeks, as the NFL coach, is it not time?
Yeah, and it should have been apparent, like I say, man, especially in that Bronco game, the way that they just struggled. That's probably where I'm looking at Kirk and going, because, like I say, so I've got the schedule here. So, so he didn't look all that great against the Saints. We should have never had to rely on field goals, to beat that team. You shouldn't have to rely on field goals to beat the Aints. That's a game that you should have won by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Game, Cody, I don't mean to interrupt you, dude, but I still reflect back to the fact that we talked about it this season. If there was one game that you could have started Penix in, it was no doubt the primetime game against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
Against your former quarterback, Desmond Ridder. Give this kid some experience. Then you have a game where you have the next week another failing team, the New York Giants. Let him build his confidence as he did so in the Benz. But that would have gave him 2 games under his belt before this primetime game, which I'm not saying he performed bad primetime. He looked very nice. But if you had that extra game, as we speaking of, and you had that time.
Well, and I still feel like even starting him at the Raiders game would have been starting him a little too late. I really think after that Broncos game, you could really tell that that's when Kirk just either didn't have it anymore or was hurt, to the point to where he couldn't play. So look at this. If you start him again, after the Broncos game, you go Chargers, Vikings, Raiders. So if you start him against the Chargers that following after you lose to the Broncos, 38-6, he would have played a decent Chargers team, which we may or may not have won that one with Michael Penix.
And you possibly could have, because your defense played phenomenal that game.
Absolutely. And Michael Penix has proven that he can take care of the ball. He did have the one interception, against Washington. But again, you run him out there against the Vikings or against the Chargers. You got the Chargers, had him play the Vikings, the Raiders, the Giants. And then that Washington Commanders game would have been the 5th start for him. He would have been well.
Shout out to all the reactions over on Facebook. Much love to y'all. We appreciate the interactions. Hit that share button for us. Share us out. Get us to all new platforms. Crew Jones, JD White, Andrew, Tyler Sapp. Appreciate it, fam. Hit that share button. Cody, continue on, brother.
But yeah, so I mean, like I say, if you start in that Chargers game, by the time he gets to Washington, that's 5 games under his belt. And
oh shit, dude! A Mercedes-Benz just pulled in the garage.
Oh really?
The tire's a little flat. It could use a wax job, but there's a Mercedes-Benz in the garage right here. Phillips, a.k.a. Abbott's.
Look at
is here to talk Falcon football. We have a special guest appearance, Falcon fans. Look who made it to the podcast. Philip, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here tonight to talk Falcon football. Philip, what's going on?
Man, just had to get some games in, man. I went back to work today, and I don't know, just kind of tired, beat up, man, but I'm just ready for Sunday, man. Got my tickets ready to go. Gonna have me a good time on Sunday.
Philip is in the Benz Sunday with Pops.
No matter the meaning of the game, we're gonna have a good time.
Cody is in the Benz with it, as always. You two guys, when you're in the Benz together and you hang out, now let's rephrase that. When you two guys hang out at the game together, it seems to be a phenomenal dub. So you two need to get clicked together early at tailgate. Shout out to Mateo in the chat real quick. Shout out to Crew Jones in the chat. Shout out to my guy, JD White in the chat. Check him out on Facebook, Falcon Fans. He has a podcast himself, JD White, another podcaster. My guy, Tony Primetime Dunn is in the chat. Shout out to Tony. Cody, you can continue on, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man.
No, you're good. It was good to see Philip, man. I was going to say, finally got him off the roof, man. Let's say, so let's. But, man, like I say, if you start him at that Chargers game, man, he's got 5 games under his belt, and that is more than enough time for him to really kind of figure out, hey, I need to get the ball up. I need to
Why everybody roasting me,
See,
man?
already on
Listen,
it. But
man.
Sheesh.
Listen, man.
Chargers game, Cody.
Yeah.
You start Penix like you were saying. Chargers
yeah,
game start Penix.
that's 5 games under his belt, and that gives him, way more time to get stuff under control. That, kind of showed up against a better team, in Washington than it did against the Giants. He could make those shorter throws, you kind of be off a little bit because you're playing such a garbage team in New York. But the same mistakes that he was making, when we played New York, you just can't compensate for once you're playing a better team like, the Washington Commanders. And it just kind of showed. But again, if he had those 5 games, things probably look a little bit different.
It does, Cody. You talked about it, the connection, the timing. Because, Cody, there was a couple of primetime throws that night that Penix could have had an easy 60-yard connection for a touchdown, 70-yarder to Bijan down on your own 30-yard line. You hit Bijan on the little wheel route that he runs. Beats his guy tremendously. Yep. Bijan, what a special player. Snubbed to the Pro Bowl once again. But
could have had 7 on the board to Drake London, which ended up resulting in a 3. But it is what it is.
Well, and
second career start.
But see, the thing is too is that honestly, but but the thing is though is you have to really look, and this is is more disappointing is I don't look at that game against Washington and think Penix did anything to lose it. Our head coach did.
Absolutely.
Our head coach absolutely lost that game.
It's in the title, Cody, for a reason. RAHEEM, why no timeout, bro?
Yep. Let's
talk about it. Let's go a round table right now. Why was there not a timeout taken when let's talk about the halftime timeout before. Okay, you had the halftime timeout. You had 3 at halftime. You took 0 before the half. You played for the field goal. I don't understand that move at all. You didn't want them to have no time on the clock. I understand it, but you had plenty of time. Defense was playing well that night. You could have gave them 30 to 20 seconds on the clock. I feel like defense would have stood tall in that 30 seconds and contained them for no gain. But the thing is, then you proceed to get the game into OT. You said yourself in an interview, RAHEEM, that this was a desperation kick. He called it a desperation kick. He knew that this kicker was not good for this distance. This was a desperation kick to hopefully have a game-winning miracle, and you don't go into overtime. You don't go into overtime, right?
He set him up the field.
But if you know that as a head coach, why are we not taking our timeouts to advance another 10 to 15 yards to get in that field goal range? The table's open. Cody, Phillip, take it away.
Well, I think we said this kind of on our last podcast. It was like I still don't understand his answer, and to me, it's still the dumbest thing. For whatever reason, his whole thing was, well, we know what Dan Quinn was going to do, and if we take the timeout,
what do you call it, Cody? Quinning,
quitting or whatever he wanted to call it. But to me, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, because if you know what he's going to do, you have, as the offense, have the right to adjust, and just like the defense does. So it doesn't matter, to me, it was I don't have an answer for y'all. I screwed up. Here's a bullshit answer. I hope you accept it. And I don't still. It is probably one of the dumbest things that I have ever heard a head coach, mention. If we take a timeout and we move and then he's going to, okay, if you know he's going to do that, then you adjust. You have to give your rookie quarterback time. You need it. If you, again, like to, the point of, he knows that it's a desperation kick at that point. When you got 17, there was 22 seconds, I think, at that point, if he had taken a timeout. So you've got one timeout. So at that point, when everybody's all caught up and is at the ball, run the ball. If you only get 5 or 6 more yards or whatever the case is, call your other timeout and then try it. I don't.
Real quick, Cody, the chat, we're at our highest amount of viewers right this second for tonight's show. If you're in the chat and you're not subscribed on YouTube, head over to YouTube. All you have to type in is DFU_ATL. We're the first podcast to pop up. Hit subscribe. Let me know in the comment section, and you are entered for a chance to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros, courtesy of Cody Keeler. And if you are subscribed if you tag a Facebook friend and had them subscribe on YouTube and you have proof of that, you and that person both are entered for the chance to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros. So shout out to Cody for that giveaway.
But yeah, man, I would say it was just a bad excuse. I think he got caught up in the moment, and don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, maybe a lot of us make that mistake. You know, you're going, okay, we got to hurry up. I think we're going to get there fast. But to me, when your rookie quarterback's telling you, hey, yeah, I would have called a timeout, but coach is coach. And I definitely don't like the answer of, well, I didn't call a timeout because it's a process. You're the fucking head coach. The process is if you want to take a timeout, you take the fucking timeout. There's no process to be had.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Mateo, to answer your question here, brother, you said RAHEEM should have took the challenge to Ertz knee catch too. Well, the thing is, in overtime, coaches had no challenge. That is all booth reviewed. So the booth did review it, but it was for a slight second. I mean, it was told from the beginning that they wanted Commanders to have that game. And I told Philip when I seen how badly the refereeing was for the Panthers against Tampa Bay, I told Philip before that game, expect the refs to fuck us in the ass because they wholeheartedly want Tampa Bay to win this division. And it's just as much as the Falcons' fault. We can't blame refereeing because the Atlanta Falcons put themselves in this situation, and where they're at right now is a terrible, terrible spot. And it leads to questions like this from Tony in the chat. Does Terry get fired if we don't make the playoffs? Terry, we talked about this last podcast, me and Cody and Philip. I think Robert may have been here as well. We talked about how if you don't make the playoffs this year, I think Terry has initially one more year because it comes up on contract season. Contract season for Terry is very, very close. I think it's next year or maybe it was this year. I can't remember. This year for Terry. So if you don't make that playoff push, maybe Terry's seat is hot. Maybe they go with RAHEEM Morris' decision at GM because, guys, remember this was an old regime. I mean, I can't say it was an Arthur Smith hire because didn't they hire Terry before the head coach, or was it head coach and then Terry?
It was the head coach, then Terry.
Then Terry, yep.
Usually your GM helps pick the head coach, correct? I thought that's how that process works, but that's not how the Atlanta Falcons went about it that season. So, I mean, that's a good question, Philip. Cody, do you think if you don't make playoffs this year, is Terry's seat hot?
I think it's already hot. I don't know that he's fired if we don't make the playoffs, but if we don't make the playoffs, if we come out in the 25 season and it doesn't look, immaculate like we started this year, he probably gone midway through the season.
Yeah.
I mean, if you start even if, we start like, God forbid, like 2-6, or you go 2-4, he has to be gone.
Yeah, no doubt. But that's the thing where it's like, are the Atlanta Falcons willing to sit and wait another season to find out if this is going to work? Because, I mean, even if you do go get a new GM, it's still kind of that same mentality, right? Like you're still kind of starting back over with a new GM. I mean, the scheme is still there, the coach is still there, the players are still there, but aren't you kind of basically like not a rebuild, but you're right back at the same position you were 4 years ago.
I think the only thing that saves Terry's ass is that Arthur Blank is in win now mode. Because he's getting older. He's said as much himself that he's getting older and he's in win now mode. So I think the only thing that buys Terry one or two more years is the fact that if we miss this year, which is looking like is the possibility, I think the only thing that saves him is that Arthur Blank doesn't want to restart with a new GM and a new head coach. But we also know Arthur Blank is not going to sit around and wait much longer. And again, if next year doesn't start out good like it should, don't be surprised to see a head coach and a GM gone next year.
Philip, the question rotates over to you, brother. The question from Tony. Great question here from Tony. Appreciate the question because, like I said, we could go an hour just off this one comment. But Philip, Terry, hot seat. Is that a problem if you don't make the playoffs, or is this a thing where Terry was on the hot seat this season? Falcon fans just didn't know it, and it's time to part ways.
I don't really necessarily say he's going to get fired. You know, I don't like throwing in that word for like, because you don't never know. I have to agree with, Cody. If you start off next, it's kind of hot right now, but not at the same time, it doesn't mean that he's going to get fired. I see if you blow another season or start off bad, you're done. You're done.
And so is RAHEEM, correct?
Oh yeah.
I think
that part I don't know, because if that's the case, you're just.
But here's the thing, because here's a good that's a good comment. That's a good answer to that, Philip. Because Bobby with another good comment says, too many changes of leadership. We need to build a team to actually fit a coach's scheme, and that is 100% correct. Because some would say maybe Arthur Smith should have been given his full term of a contract, because didn't we sign him 4 years? We went 3 years.
He got
or did he get his 4 years?
He had his 3 years, I thought.
He got 3, yeah.
Okay,
well, I was incorrect about that, but maybe let's look in the past. Let's look in the past. Let's look at Steve Sarkisian. Takes you to the playoffs his first season.
Mm-hmm.
His first season, he takes you to the playoffs, and you cut him directly right after. So I think you have to look at this comment, and it absolutely makes sense. You have got to keep some type of leadership to build a scheme, because the past few years you haven't been able to establish it. And like Mateo says here, you have a head coach now that's training and coaching up a staff that another coach previously hired. I think this is Arthur Smith's team. RAHEEM just needs to learn the strengths and weaknesses of his players. That's a great comment from Mateo. Real quick, shout out to the likes over on Facebook. Preston, Nick, Crew, JD, Andrew. Appreciate every single body that hits that like button. Share the podcast, Falcon fans. If you hit that like button, share it to another Falcon fan. Get us out. Philip, hold on. Let's read this comment real quick. President says, I believe they'll give RAHEEM 3 years to give us a playoff team that can contend for a Super Bowl. That's the goal. That's the plan. But
that's what I'm feeling. But like, I don't know. You just have people all over social media. They think they know everything. If you really look at it, though, he has brought some talent into our team, and it's shown. We have progressed, really, whether people want to believe it or not. We got over 7 wins. That is we wanted playoffs. We get it, but we did something we haven't done in the past 3 years. This is an achievement. And still, we're not deadly out of playoff contentions. Which
you're in the last week. It come all the way down to the last week.
New Orleans could shock you, especially with things going on now. They probably want to fight for their city. They want to prove that they
real quick. Shout out to New Orleans. Put football aside for a minute. Everything that went down on Bourbon Street, man. Prayers out to everybody that was affected. Any family member that was affected by what happened of such a senseless act. Prayers from DFU out to everybody. That was definitely prayers for New Orleans and this city. But Philip, you bring up a good point, and Mateo's right there with you. He says, I think the Aints win. That was hard to say. You're banking, guys. We're banking on a Spencer Rattler.
Hell, he beat us.
Yeah, hush.
I'm just saying, hey, why can't
we beat ourselves, dude? We beat ourselves. We did. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're right. He did beat us.
What is Baker without any of his receivers? He's not shit.
I say, unfortunately, Baker's in that.
Guess who else is playing off of Incentive Sunday? Mike
Evans, yep. Did they say if Alvin Kamara was coming back?
I did not see that breaking news. I'll have to check that. Siri, hold up, we'll look it up. But your guys' thoughts, Aints game, Spencer Rattler. Philip brings a good point up. He did beat the Atlanta Falcons. Why couldn't he beat Tampa Bay? Cody, Philip, take it away.
I mean, after everything that's happened, I feel like they want to fight for their city. It's not even just for football. It's just to prove something that they're standing strong.
We know their fan base from the past week. Their fan base doesn't want us to win, or doesn't want the Falcons in the playoffs. Well, I've seen numerous comments where like, we're not winning. We're not winning for the Falcons. We're not getting the Falcons in the playoffs.
Is this game in New Orleans or is it in Tampa?
It's in Tampa, but at the same time, though, they want to prove something for their city. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean?
Absolutely.
They want to prove
you see what they did.
that they're standing strong for their city. It doesn't matter.
All right, so let's look at the injury report for Saints and Tampa. This is a Falcon podcast, so just please bear with us as we.
This is Falcon related because this determines what we do. What happens this Sunday?
All right, so the Buccaneers this is their injury report for the week. All right, they have Buccaneers tight end Delvin Culp, his ribs, light practice. Levante Davis did not participate Friday. Jamal Dean did not participate. Friday game status for Jamal Dean, he's out.
Damn.
That's cornerback Jamal Dean, so that's huge. Tight end Payne Durham, he was the dude. He didn't participate. Receiver Mike Evans was a rest. Defensive lineman light practice. Let's see here. Cade Otten is doubtful. Their big tight end that makes a lot of plays. He's doubtful for Sunday. Receiver Sterling Shepard, he's questionable as well.
Ooh, I've seen where he might be out.
Safety Antonio Whitfield Jr. is also out. Tackle Tristan Riffs, foot, knee, light practice. Let's go to the Saints right here. We got the Saints injury list. Derek Carr is out. Linebacker Willie Gay is questionable. Tight end Jawan Johnson is questionable. Alvin Kamara is doubtful. Kendra Miller is out. Receiver Chris Olave is questionable. Defensive end Payne Turner is questionable. Receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling is questionable, and so is Pete Werner. So a lot of banged up players. As you've seen our injury report as well, we have a lot of banged up players. Mooney may not even play Sunday in a big game. So, yeah, that sucks, man. Mooney's been a big part of this offense this season.
Yep.
And
Man, it's all right.
I was hoping for him to make. I wanted him to play this last game because he's so close to breaking 1K, dude. Like we would have two receivers break 1K for the first time since.
Is he doubtful or is he just questionable?
It says doubtful. It says doubtful on the report.
What is wrong with it? That is just
Let's see.
random.
Let's see. Let's check the report.
When is it? His ankle?
Let's check the update
When
report.
did he ever get hurt, though?
I was gonna say I don't.
It had to be a practice tweak.
I was like, it's just random.
Cautionary, maybe.
Maybe, and maybe it's to psych the Panthers out. Who knows? Let's
They already
let's see.
psyched out. Hell, they took that
Where's
last
the
week. They
injury
psyched out.
Give me the injury report. It says Darnell Mooney is a game time decision versus the Panthers. Let's see what it says.
Whatever his name is, Hubba Bubba, whatever his damn name is, he ain't playing.
Let's see. Raheem Morris said Friday receiver Darnell Mooney's shoulder. He's questionable, game time decision. Brandon Dolores and linebacker J.D. Bertrand are all questionable. Mooney and Dolores did not participate in practice, but Bertrand was limited. So good news for Bertrand. And then again, Friday is Friday. Mooney's shown he's great. So
Question. You mentioned Bertrand. Okay, This is something I didn't understand Sunday night. When you had him pressuring Daniels,
got his first career sack.
we were stopping them on offense.
And then
Do you think some of that, like him being questionable, is reason why they stopped after the second half? Because after
Maybe.
halftime, we changed the whole look of the defense.
And
that's
that
when
may
they started
be
coming back.
that may be what it is, Philip. That may be why you saw that decline after
Like,
halftime. Even after halftime, though, let's be for real. That drive after halftime, your Atlanta Falcon defense had the Commanders at 3rd and 30 until a bullshit flag on D'Angelo Malone.
And then you had people from our fan base calling for his head, wanting him gone. Like, buddy, like, damn, he can't touch him. Like, what the hell? That is on every play. What
Yeah.
is this random automatic first down BS? Like, I don't get it.
Mateo said, I want Sark back for real, especially knowing he helped build up Bijan in Texas. Absolutely. Look what Sark's doing in the SEC his first season.
Yeah,
Sark is a good coach.
2-0.
And he did. Shout out to them dogs. They are officially out. Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish advance, and the dogs take a seat. Mateo says Smith brought Pitts, Bijan, Algier, and more. He did. He absolutely did. But also Terry had a big part in that. So that's why I think when it comes to the hot seat of Terry, you have to look at some of these draft picks he's selected. Let's be for real. This last draft wasn't a great draft. I mean, you had Penix. Penix was a good pick. I think I've seen 2 games of it. I think
You've had a decent draft. They just
J.D. Bertrand's starting to come around. J.D. Bertrand's starting to get around. Brandon Dolores can't stay healthy, and also what's the guy that got injured?
Braylon Trice got injured in preseason. But let's be honest, though, we don't know how they. It was.
Could Braylon Trice be the pass rush that we need next season? Who knows?
I'm telling you.
He's coming off of what, an ACL tear?
I don't think it was a tear. I think it was just a. It might have been.
I think it was a tear. So, I mean, that's a big injury to come back from on your rookie season. Who knows if he'll be what he was in college? That's something we can find out next season. Nick Bungalow, referring to the New Orleans situation, says more than football. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mateo in the chat said, we lost to Kamara, not Radler. LOL. New Orleans fans travel, especially to down south games. Says, could you imagine if the Super Bowl was the two teams we lost to on primetime, Washington versus KC, Commanders versus Chiefs? Who knows, man? Who knows what it could be? Braylon Trice and Rondell Moore coming back. Rondell Moore, who knows what he could be next season?
And you might see Rondell go. You don't know.
And you just may.
Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just saying, I like what Ray's been doing. So, I mean,
that's
he's
what
gonna have
to.
He's gonna have to shine for me. So
his career high receptions in Atlanta. This is what our free agency list is looking like. You have Eddie Goldman.
Gotta say the fourth one.
Richard.
Got my dog, bro.
So that's a pretty stout list right here, man. So there's a lot of things Falcons are gonna have to look at
right here on this list that needs to go. I'm just
the third from bottom, D. Alford. Get the hell out of Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
Get out of Atlanta. Fast, quick, in a hurry. Get out of here.
I love you, my guy, but
get out of here.
Torch, bro. God.
Nick Bungalow in the chat said, we need a deep threat. Always stay safe, Mateo said. Absolutely. Never know, man. Never know. And that was a very big eye-opening to, I believe, everybody that reacted to it, that seen it. I mean, that was horrifying. That was horrifying for what happened on that street. Definitely never cool. I mean, it was sad. On New Year's, man, just out celebrating. But when it comes to Terry, man, let's make this podcast about RAHEEM, who I wanted this podcast to be about. RAHEEM Morris. RAHEEM Morris in the timeouts. Falcon fans, let me know in the chat why we did not take the field goal. And also, 1, for RAHEEM Morris is safe for another year. 2 in the chat for RAHEEM Morris just may be on the hot seat. Let me know in the chat. 1 for keep, 2 for hot. Let me know in the comment section.
I just want to make the comment, though, about
the timeout situation. Alameda Zacchaeus back? Shit.
I just want to put this out there. I don't understand the fact that he said when they asked him about was he in charge of the timeouts, he said no, it was a process. What the hell does that even mean?
That's what Cody was just speaking on.
What do you mean by that? Like, I'm truly like, it's a process. Process of what?
I can tell you right now,
it's
Philip.
Somebody else in your damn ear telling you, time out.
No,
right.
You know what the
case? He needs his ass gone.
I could tell you right now, Philip. This is exactly what that meant. The process is I fucked up. I should have taken a timeout. This is my best excuse that I've got. Quit asking me about it. That's exactly what that answer was.
Like, it just
that's kind of how
when I watched it, I'm just like, is he fucking with me? Like, I ain't even gonna lie, I was pissed off.
Well,
I said, damn, fuck, I'm refunding my money for the tickets. I'm staying home. He pissed me off.
But then I'm like,
it is what it is.
Well, the thing is, too, is in your head, because his whole explanation was, I thought we were going to get up to the line faster. Okay, well, when you notice that you're not getting up to the fucking line faster, use the fucking timeout. You don't get paid. You don't get paid money to keep your timeouts. You don't get to carry those timeouts into the next game. It's just call a timeout.
It is a simple Madden game. Timeout. Get closer down the field. Then you kick your field goal.
And again, the excuse of, well, I knew what Dan Quinn was going to do. Okay, well, cool. If you knew what Dan Quinn was going to do, and as soon as you see him,
what does it matter?
Who gives a shit what Dan Quinn's going to do? Because they didn't have an answer for Bijan. The only answer they had for Bijan was for Bijan not to be on the fucking field. So go out there and run Bijan or run Tyler or whatever you've got to do, and go get the hell, I think even if you got 4 or 5 yards, he probably makes that kick. It may have been by this much, but he would have made it at that point, or it would have dinked and dunked, and at least you would have had a better shot.
Yeah, absolutely. A better shot's better than taking a desperation kick, is what RAHEEM Morris called that kick. In a big game that keeps you in the playoff race, it keeps you're obviously still in the playoff race. Playoff race is very slim now, but that game keeps you in contain of the NFC South, potentially winning the NFC South.
Yeah, you're in first place if you win that game still. You're up by half a game, and all you got to do at that point is go beat the pathetic Carolina Panthers.
Chat, real quick, if you're tuning in on Facebook, man, head over to YouTube and have the chance to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros. Question to you, Cody. If a person shares the post on Facebook and tags people and says, subscribe on YouTube for the chance to win a pair of Apple AirPods, does that count for an entry?
Yeah, we'll give it to him.
All right, so we got one more. We got one more entry. Crew Jones is now entered for the chance to win Apple AirPod Pros. So we have now officially 8 people on the list, man. Share the podcast, tag a friend on the post, and we will enter you for the chance to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros, courtesy of Cody Keeler. So please share the podcast, tag a Falcon friend, tag a whoever, and tell them to subscribe on YouTube, and you are entered for the chance to win Apple AirPod Pros, man. Do it now, man. There's no reason not to do it. It's free. Subscribe over on YouTube.
Oh, and for the Carolina fan that just like, after I just like flamed your ass on Twitter and just randomly kept spamming 28-3. Listen,
yeah, that's so gay. That's so gay.
Your ass is in poverty. Okay?
That's so gay.
Like, I pissed him off so bad that he blocked me and then started spamming that shit. Like, it was hurting my feelings. Like, buddy, if you're not a Patriots fan, it doesn't bother me. It does not bother me.
What does he want to talk about 28-3? You want to talk about Cam Newton making a fucking business decision in your Super Bowl? How about your fucking quarterback dives on?
Get on the ball.
Yeah, how about your quarterback gets on a fucking ball?
Say that, somebody else tweeted to him the same shit. I don't know if it's going to play.
Chat.
Or show it like, well, it's not
we talked about Raheem Morris a little bit. We've talked about Terry, but let's talk about a name that we must bring up. Let's talk about 2 names that we must bring up about this Atlanta Falcons team. After the bye week, the Falcons have produced now the most sacks all around the NFL. After the bye week, before the bye week, they were the least sacks in the NFL. Now they lead the NFL in sacks since the bye week. That is a big credit to Raheem Morris because he has now officially stepped in tremendously when it comes to the defense, per reports on Twitter. So, can Jimmy Lake not do his job? Do you need a Jimmy Lake in Atlanta? And the other person, can Zach Robinson build a playbook in Atlanta, a consistent playbook to get first downs, to score touchdowns, to take your team to a playoff push? Mm-hmm. Or do you find an OC that can give you a better scheme? Questions on the table, man. Let me know.
I think with the Zach Robinson thing, I think he was incredibly limited what he could do with Kirk Cousins with the Achilles. I would like to give him another couple of games. I would like to see what he could do with the healthy Michael Penix when you can open stuff up with the bootleg and you can kind of do things with that. However, the stupid ass screen plays when it is 3rd and 12 and not putting Tyler Algier and Bijan on the field at the same time and not just giving the ball to Tyler at that point so it's so obvious has got to stop. That shit has got to stop because it is super predictable. It is super uncreative. And in the NFL, you have to be creative. You have got to confuse people because these guys that you're playing are no longer in college. I don't give a shit if you know what PFF grade, this guy is. If you're not calling creative shit, these guys understand it. These guys know football better than they know the back of their own hands. They understand how to read. You have got to be more creative in your play calling. So I don't know if that means you need to bring in at this point, I don't care who you bring in. If you need to bring in a Derek Cutter, if you need to bring in a Mike Mularkey, if you need to something to, if you got great ties with Sean McVay, I know he's not going to give you, all the answers. Or if you need to go talk to the damn Detroit Lions offensive coordinator in the offseason and pick his brain a little bit. He knows he's got 2 great running backs, and they use them. Figure it out.
They do.
Because if he doesn't figure it out in the next couple, honestly, if he comes out, my thing is if he comes out against this Carolina team
and struggles,
he probably needs to be looking for a job too.
Y'all better get me because I'm gonna crash the fuck out.
You're speaking on Zach Robinson, correct? If the play style against the Panthers are trash, did you see their defense against Tampa? It was absolutely horrendous.
Garbage.
The Carolina Panthers are definitely drafting defense.
You could tell without J.C. Horn, they aren't shit.
Real quick, Falcon fans, we got some breaking news here for the podcast. My guy, my dog, Bodarian Jones, Mr. Bodie 3000 from One Time for the Fan, where it all started. Mr. Bodie 3000 will be a special guest next Friday here on the podcast. Shout out to Bodie, my guy Jones, over on Facebook. Check him out, man. He's going to start up his own podcast here very soon. Bodie started with him from the very beginning, man. That's where it all started. Me, Bodie, and Jack. That's One Time for the Fan, and then it created DFU, man. That's where we're at now. Me, my guy Robert, my guy Cody, and my dog Philip running the podcast, man. That's what we do here at DFU. If you're new, man, hit the subscribe button. Comments here are going off. Mateo says, I hate when we're 3rd and 20 plus and we decide to run so we're not even going to trust our quarterback and receivers. Absolutely. Philip, the question goes to you before we get off topic. Zach Robinson, Jimmy Lake is either hot seat here, or do you get another season in Atlanta?
I feel like you do get another season, but like maybe he's more on the hot seat than what Zach is, because you're having to have another coach, which is your head coach, take control of the defense. That what you're supposed to be doing, and you didn't do it well. Now that your head coach has been in control of it, you have the most sacks now of the second half of the season, which is great. I'm not complaining, but my problem is, why can't you do that? Why can't he have to do his own head coaching job? Maybe that's probably what fucked him up. We're trying to call a timeout. We don't know. You know, him's worried about what he's going to do next on defense. He don't, who knows? We don't know. But that's my only problem with him. Zach, on the other hand, I feel like there's more to the playbook than what we're seeing. I feel like it's more as there's plays where he's just letting Penix just sling it down the field, but I feel like he's being limited on what he's throwing to Penix out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Giving it to him. I feel like there's a little something right there that's like telling him don't call these plays, or I feel like there's more to it. So I want to see where that leads into next season. Yeah. Or unless it's, it could happen Sunday, unless it falls into the playoffs. I don't know, but we'll just have to see.
I just had a great idea, Falcon fans. Cody, Philip, this is a great idea for the podcast. I think every live podcast we should have a top comment, like the top comment of the podcast, like the best comment that the chat puts in the chat section. And tonight's best comment has to be my guy, Crew Jones. Philip looked like he got more than.
Listen, bro, just because I've been gone for a week, that Washington game did something to me, man. It's okay, bro. I swear, I'm all right.
But I think that's a really cool subject. We should start doing top comment of the podcast. That's what we should start doing. So, guys, you two can actually see the live comments right on the right of y'all screen. If you look to the right, y'all can see the live comments. So if you guys want to pick one, and then we'll all pick one, and we'll say our top comment up tonight.
Well, damn, that's new to me.
Yeah, you can see all of the live right there to the right. So learning new things on the podcast, man. Uncut DFU. Mateo says, fire Jimmy Lake, Zach. I'll give another year. RAHEEM, one more as well. Hire Mike Vrabel. Shit, Mateo, I don't like that last part. Not the Mike Vrabel. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really like that though.
Mike Vrabel.
Well, who's the
Tennessee?
Who's for head coach though?
Yeah,
if
you
fire
him.
He
may be saying DC. He may be saying DC.
As a DC, I could probably run with that, but I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Well, isn't the Lions offensive coordinator coming off the
Ben Johnson is steady searching for a head coach position. His only demands his only demands is they let him run his team. They let him draft who he wants. They let him select who he wants. pretty much saying he wants to build his own team, and if they're not down for that, he's clearly okay with being an offensive coordinator in Detroit. That's pretty much his stipulations. Is you let me select my team, you let me pick the personnel. If I don't like who you have in house, I'll stay in Detroit. It is a lot. It is a lot.
It is a lot, but look at what he's done with that Detroit offense.
Absolutely. Look what he's done the past 2 years.
And my thing is if you tell him, hey, look, you may not be able to draft your quarterback or your running backs, but tell me that
you can't say you don't want this guy on your team.
Exactly. And that's my thing. Is like if you told me, hey, you can draft whoever you want, but look, you've already got a Michael Penix, you've got a Bijan Robinson, you've got a Tyler Algier. Tell me what guy that's looking for a head coaching job isn't going to go, yeah, you know what, Bijan, Penix, Drake London, and who's going to go, yeah, no, I'm good. Because, it's just, I mean,
you have all these stats. Like we just talked about, this could have been the first receiving core to go for 1,000 yards since Julio and Roddy in 2012. If Darnell plays Sunday, I'm sure he hits that 1K. He's only like 20 yards away from it.
If not, I'm going to be in that locker room.
We can't forget this. Officially eliminated early this season. Falcon fans, hit that like button, man. Yeah, that was early. Yep, Belichick did go to North Carolina. That is very true. He is now a college coach.
Yeah, but you know how easy it would be to pull him away from that. I think he's only getting like $3 million. You're telling me
he's old. He'll be all right.
You're telling me he
He's wouldn't come away from that. Now.
we have some more reactions over on Facebook. Shout out to Gavin Johnson on Facebook. Shout out to Bobby Davis. Appreciate the like. Share the podcast. Tag a friend. Tell them to subscribe on YouTube, and you and that friend, if they subscribe, will be entered for the chance to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros, man. Don't miss out on this opportunity. DFU steady giving back to the community that supports our channel. So definitely subscribe. Philip, Cody, man, we're reaching our 47-minute mark here on the podcast. It's getting sort of late, almost 10 o'clock here, 10 p.m. in Baxter, Georgia. Philip's got work. You left a couple of shingles off. I was going to tell you after the podcast, but since you want to say got work, you do have work. You do have work right here on top of the house. Philip, shout outs for tonight, man. Glad you was able to join us.
Man, I'm blessed to be here. Shout out to God, man. We here another day, another full day, thankfully. Hopefully that continues all the way till, whenever. I don't know when, but, I'm thankful to be here, man. Shout out to everybody who was in the comment section, man. Y'all went crazy. Now that I can see everything. Yeah, y'all went dumb stupid. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to you boys for being here. Shout out to Robert, who wasn't able to be here, but shout out to him. Shout out to this team, man. I'm gonna be there Sunday. It doesn't matter what this game means.
Philip, can we get a vlog? Philip, can we get a vlog Sunday, bro?
We might.
Can we get a vlog? I'll give you the mics. If you take the mics, you and Cody get me a vlog on the last official season game.
Yeah. You might see me crash out a little bit, but yeah.
We'll crash out.
I got you.
What's the dance to it? Can you do the dance real quick?
What you mean?
Like there's like a crash out dance or something. That's like the new millennial shit. Like my wife's little sisters, like they come with these new fucking slogans when they come over and stay the night at the house, and I'm like, what grade are y'all in? Like you're an 8?
No, like crash out means like you fit to flip your shit, bro. Like
yeah, I know, but there's like a new dance now to the word crash out, like it's a song.
Oh hell, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. And they're over at the house doing this shit, and I'm like, I'm old as fuck, dude. Like, what is happening right now? I'm no longer in the lingo.
I'm 23, bro. I don't even know. Am I old? I'm not. I thought I was in my prime.
Hit that like button, man. Yeah,
I'll say there was something. God, speaking of that, I would say I can't remember what podcast it was, but one of y'all said something. I was like, "Fuck, I'm getting old because I have no fucking clue what we're talking about."
Yeah, Cody, glad to have you here tonight on the Falcon DFU Late Night Dirty Bird Chatter. Why no timeouts, bro? Cody, shout outs for tonight, brother.
Yeah, shout out to you guys coming on. It's good to see Philip, here. Can't wait to see you Sunday, buddy. We'll we'll do our thing. We'll rise up and we'll be as loud and I guess crash out. I'm still not really sure what the fuck that means, but we'll do whatever we gotta. We'll do our thing. We'll be loud. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody watching and commenting and subscribing. It means a lot to us. We want to keep pumping out Falcon content. I'm not going to say this is the last one for the season because I'm really hoping that
could this be the last? Could this be the last Friday podcast before the end of the season? I just thought about that, Cody. You just made me sad, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Like you dirty swamp ass bastards. Just do me a favor. Feel inspired. Do like this comment says right here. Feel inspired and win. Don't do it for us. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, do it for the city, bro. Don't do it for us. Do it for the city. Like, that's how we're looking at it. Don't do it for us. Do it for the city.
I mean, truly do it for your city, though. But also, I do want you to help us out. But be inspired by doing it. All this Cam Jordan talk, how he hopes wants more for the city. This is your time, you motherfucker. Do it. It is your time.
Philip, we're going to have to sensitize you. Let's go ahead and mute Philip's mic. Philip is officially muted. We will not get copyright or flagged for that last comment. We have officially muted Philip here on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll just say
You're unmuted, Philip.
I'll say as much as I hate to say it, New Orleans, for the love of God, New Orleans, for once in your pathetic fucking lives, please do us a favor. One time. I'm still going to fucking hate y'all. I still hate your football team. I still hate the state of Louisiana. I still hate your garbage-ass stadium. I still hate your garbage fans.
God.
But please, for the love of God, beat Tampa Bay. I will never root for the Saints to win, but I will absolutely cheer for the Bucs to lose. But,
it's hard to. I don't know.
It is. It feels so gross hoping that they win. Like I've been physically sick to my stomach all week.
Mateo in the chat. He said, "Let's play our players stay healthy. The last game of the regular season. Rise up and get that dub. Whatever happens, happens." Shout out to Chase, Cody, and MIA Phil. Shout out to Robert. Don't forget Robert. Shout out to Robert. Wasn't able to make it tonight. Robert will be here. I'm sure he'll be here. I don't want to speak for himself, but I think Robert will be here for the pregame show. So, y'all tune in Sunday pregame show, man. Let's hope it's not the last.
From yesterday, but
let's hope it's not the last pregame show, man. Let's hope Sunday is not the last pregame show. Let's hope these Aints pull it out.
And it may not be us in the playoffs, but we can give live reactions to these playoffs.
Oh no, we're definitely DFU's definitely going live.
Because I would love for y'all to see me react to some of these plays.
Philip, that should be something we do if the Falcons don't make playoffs.
We don't make the playoffs. We should, make content
just for that short
going live for these games. I mean, I don't know how they won't be able to see the game, but they'll get to see our reactions.
Yeah, we could do something like that, man. Or put a green screen up and make some shorts and put the game behind us and make some reels out of it. That'd be pretty dope. Yeah, Falcon fans, stay tuned, man, because even if the Falcons don't make the playoffs, DFU is live all season round. We may take like a week vacay or a month vacay or so in the summertime.
I done took a whole week.
And when there's nothing going on and there's no Falcon related content, we may take a couple of days off. But DFU is with you all season round, baby. We don't take off days. Mateo says, Philip, you better not. Oh God.
Oh,
God, we're gonna go ahead and hide that comment, Philip. We'll go ahead and take. We'll go ahead. I ain't even gonna finish reading it. We'll take it off.
Cringe, bro. Cringe.
Falcon fans, hit that like button, man. I've got to get to the babies. Subscribe. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight.
There would be no way in hell I'm wearing that dirty gold and black, bro.
Shit.
I'd wipe my cheeks with that thing, bro.
Falcon fans, hit that like button. Leave a comment. We are on the road to 1K. We are officially almost halfway to that 1K mark, Falcon fans. Get us there. Tag your Falcon friends for the chance to win Apple AirPod Pros. We do giveaways. We have player interviews. John Abraham, Mike Johnson. We've had 92.9 The Game on the podcast.
2024 was a great year, bro.
2024 was a successful year.
That was a crazy
for
year,
DFU, man.
A lot more to come.
A lot more to come, Falcon fans.
Our special guest, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all stay tuned, man, because there's a lot. Guess who I've been talking with? we'll save that for a surprise on the later podcast. Me and Philip and Cody will talk about it after the podcast. But man, y'all stick around because there's some stuff in the works.
We gotta make sure we end it before we start talking about it.
Yeah, we gotta have the contract signed. Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract. Falcon fans, hit that like button, man. DFU is getting ready to get up out of here. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to my co-hosts, Philip, Cody, Robert. Could not do the podcast without you guys. Shout out to the comment sections. There is no podcast without the comments. There is no podcast without the subscribers. So shout out to each and every one of you that support the channel. That's why we do these giveaways. That's why we give away free merch. That's why we give away signed autograph memorabilia by what's his name? Michael Turner, Jesse Bates, all these players that I've had signed a hat. Gave it away on the podcast. My girl Kiki got the hat on the podcast from being a supporter. Falcon fans, man, stay tuned. DFU is always going to be here talking Falcon football. We appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to the man up above. Shout out to the kids. Shout out to the wife. DFU is up out of here, man. A-Town down, rise up. You'll catch us Friday. No, it is Friday. You'll catch us Sunday at 12 before the live Atlanta Falcons game. Philip and Cody is in the bins. Me and Robert on the live podcast. Falcon fans, we are out of here. A-Town down, rise up.